and now in a new swing of looking at it in terms of global responsibilities that India and European Union has. It's an intent which will fructify over a period of time, where both sides will either modestly make concessions gradually one after another, or some sectors will take longer time to come up than others. For example, apparel or automobile sectors could see a big change first. Services are expected to go up by 20% as soon as the deal becomes active from January next year. So there are also going to be sectors where we will take much longer time to really benefit from the deal.
So I just sorry to cut you short there, Professor Singh. So would it be fair to say that while we can realize some sort of changes as early as next year, 2027, after the deal is implemented, certain sectors are going to take very long time for them to realize and for the deal to finally come into fruition. So as far as my colleague's question on MSMEs is concerned, I think that's going to take a longer horizon, about 5 to 7 years.
That's true, because India repeatedly has demonstrated its sensitivity towards labor-intensive sectors. Whether it is the regional comprehensive economic partnership that India walked out of, or it is issues with United States, India has been very conscious again to talk about democracy, and these are very, very significant part of Indian voters. And therefore, Indian democracy will have to be sensitive to how far one can go in making those concessions. And they will really be coming over a very long period of time. And in that sense, both sides, not just India, both sides will be perhaps gradually trying to make concessions to each other. So in that sense, yes, India is sensitive. India is very defensive on labor-intensive areas, SMEs and MSMEs. That will continue to be really demonstrated in the way India negotiates trade deals with the European Union.
Okay. Ambassador Bhatia, I think you wanted to come in?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to respond to two issues. One is the issue of MSMEs and what will be the impact on them. And I think it's important to understand, as far as MSMEs are concerned, immediately after ratification, the benefits of tariff reductions in labor-intensive areas like textiles, apparel, gems and jewelry, footwear, etc., will be available. To that extent, their market access will be improved. But in areas like steel and aluminium and cement, where the CBAM kicks in, I think most MSMEs will not be prepared to make technology choices in a way that brings them into compliance with the CBAM. India's large producers are, I think, making all their efforts, and I think they will be much more ready to get into action as soon as the ratification is done. So that's a limited point I wanted to make, that MSMEs will be discomfited, but as far as the CBAM negotiations are going on within the two sides, my impression is that India is putting special emphasis on some kind of flexibilities for MSMEs. Now, I think we should also acknowledge that CBAM is essential for the European Union for various reasons, and we cannot expect it to be rolled back.
So are you looking at some sort of pressure being built on India to come up with some sort of explicit carbon pricing as opposed to the implicit carbon pricing that we have by the way of regulations? So you think, because it's a fine balancing act for India?
No, India already has its carbon market through CCTS. The challenge now
but there's no explicit duty, sir. Would it be fair to say that?
No. The CCTS is a carbon price which has been set for various industries by the government of India, and theoretically it can be made interoperable with the CBAM to provide carbon credits to Indian exporters. The question, and that requires a lot of negotiation.
Okay,
that's right.
Okay.
As far as non-trade issues are concerned, like human rights and labor, etc., my impression is that the two sides have agreed to continue these negotiations, and I don't think that will be an immediate issue for the time being.
Okay, let me quickly go across to a Commodore, Dr. Ashwinder Singh Bahal. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. We have discussed trade, we have discussed SMEs, MSMEs, SMEs, but there is also a defense aspect to this entire deal. In my previous show, you spoke about saffron. Can you take our viewers into the nitty gritty? What are we looking for? I mean to say,
Absolutely.
when it comes to Russians, it's S-400s and other things, predators. When it comes to Americans, people have an idea what we are looking for. What are we looking for when it comes to EU? Guns, small battle weapons. What are we looking for? Submarines?
Kartikeya, first of all, I'm feeling very honored to be part of this esteemed panel, including yourself and Shweta. And my request to you is that kindly look into the light of defense today has become an important aspect of our economy also. If you see our defense exports, they have reached 23,622 crores last year, which was 12% increase. It's come to 30,000 crores this year, financial year 26, and we are expecting 50,000 crores by next year or next year end. So defense is going to play an important aspect, especially in bringing our nations together along with the European Union, our nation together with the European Union, because there has been a trust deficit with respect to European Union when it is considered that India is close to Russia and they had seen the Russian weapon systems, which made a tremendous difference, including Brahmas as well as S-400 in the Op Sindoor that took place. But one thing is there, that the weaponization of terrorists as well as neo-colonialist policies adopted both by the US and China has finally been seen as that importance to India cannot be relegated anymore. And that is why it is extremely important today between India and the EU. It is not just that it is going to benefit all of us and it will be 200 crore people, I stand corrected, 2 billion people who will be benefited. But it is the necessity of time today that we need to have world trade, which is -2. That is US and China. Our own trade deficit with China is today $116 billion in 2025, and it has increased many folds over the period of time. So we need to look and the disrupted supply chain, we need to fix measures, and that is why our relationship with European Union is extremely important. Secondly, I have visited Europe virtually to all the countries, and my own daughter stays in Netherlands, and I have found one thing: there are 3.5 million skilled Indians who are working in Europe today. And when I look at Europe, especially countries where we have maximum trade, these are Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, as well as France. And we find that they really like the skilled Indians, the philosophy and ethics for work. So this is the right time when the labor mobility with Germany, we already have an agreement of 100,000 multiple visas, multi-entry visas. So similarly, now we are going to get a significant boost in our labor mobility, especially when we have 15 lakh engineers being produced every year. This is one aspect to what the discussions have taken place till now. The second aspect of defense, and defense today has become a very important aspect, both in building trust as well as in the economic part, as well as in generating jobs. I'll give you one example. We already have a deal with Spain and India in terms of Airbus company coming with Tata Advanced Systems Limited and building a factory in Baroda, which the Prime Minister had inaugurated some time back, and that is already going to start its production in September 2026, and we are going to get the first C-295 aircraft then amongst the 40 that will be built in India, with the order of another 50 more. The second important thing is that you mentioned we were trying to build engines for the last 2.5 decades, and the Kaveri engine, we have come up to only 55 kilonewtons, and it's not worthwhile for any fourth, fifth, or sixth generation aircraft. And that is the reason
Are you
why
saying it's end of Kaveri?
I'm not saying it is end of Kaveri, because we can use them in the drones and in many other areas in training aircraft or in drones, but it cannot fulfill the missions that we require as far as advanced medium combat aircraft is concerned,
Okay.
or a fifth or sixth generation aircraft is concerned. Now, the engine deal that we have with Safran is 100% technology transfer. It's going to come up in Hyderabad, and it's a $7 billion deal. But we are going to get a fifth gen. Even this aircraft, which is in this engine, which is going to give you 120 kilonewtons thrust, Even it is not available worldwide today. What I want to highlight, it is going to be better than the M88 engine that has been fitted in the Rafale aircraft, or better than the engines G404 and 414 that America is likely to provide to us. We don't need their engines. They have just given us five. And the way the Americans have been delaying the giving of engines to us, our LCA project has completely got displaced, and we haven't yet had a single LCA being produced. So it is extremely important that we build a defense partnership with the Europe, which goes beyond maritime security. In any case, with Atlanta missions, both in Gulf of Aden as well as in Somalia coast, we are doing anti-piracy missions.